Hi everybody, in this video I would like to explain the subtleties of StartOnRowWhere. StartOnRowWhere is used to choose the rows that the controller will park on, and it has some codes that you need to be aware of. So let's start first of all by running the code without the StartOnRowWhere. Now to have more information, I asked the code to show me dbdebug equals yes, which means every query that gets sent will get sent to the Visual Studio output window. And dbNoParams means that the query will be simple with the values inside it and will not use bound parameters, making it easy to read. So I'll start without the StartOnRowWhere, and let's see what we have here. I'll clear the output window, open the screen, and we can see that we have a simple select statement, selecting our columns from our table, order by, the order by that I've set. Now in this case I've used start from last row, so we're basically searching from rows in this direction. Perfect. And this is why all the sorts are descending. Great. Now let's go ahead and introduce the StartOnRowWhere to our code and see where that takes us. Now, to find the rows that you're looking for actually requires a lot of queries, because we need to find the actual rows, the rows that are before it, and the rows that are after it. Now in this case our StartOnRowWhere is between 0 and 9999, and let's see what that actually does. We'll clear the output window and run the screen, and we can see now that we have a lot more SQL statements that were sent to the database. Let's understand each and every one. The first query is trying to find the rows that merge our StartOnRowWhere condition. Okay, and it starts to do the descending, so we're going to get this order of rows. The next query, after we found our row, we need to find the rows that are after it. Now you can see that we have 4 order bys, and those come into play into the where statements that we do, because our only ways to find the rows that are after it is actually making 4 select statements. One where all first 3 columns are equal and the last one is greater. Another one where the first 2 are equal and that one is greater. Another one like this over here, and another one like this over here. Now we can see that all of these queries were done and none of them found any rows in our case. So these are just 4 queries that went to waste because we're trying to find the next rows. Next, we have the other way around. We want to find the rows that are in this direction. Okay, so we're going to search where unit price is less than 53. Again, we have 4 order by elements. Where quantity is less than 6, when product ID is less than 51, and eventually where order ID is less than 1101. This is our only way to find the rows that are behind this. So in this case, it's very clear to see that by having a StartOnRowWhere combined with a complex order by, we're going to get a lot of queries. Now, of course, if our data were more divided, if we had the same order ID in many rows, and less queries would get generated, but this is to illustrate the worst case scenario. Now remember, if we just remove the StartOnRowWhere, all of this just runs with 1 query. We don't need anything more than that. So whenever you run into performance issues that you feel are in any of those queries, mind the locate expression, the StartOnRowWhere, and the order by columns that are being used. Just to show you how this all looks in a profiler, let's do it with a profiler. Let's add a StartOnRowWhere in the profiler. So I'm going to activate the profiler and open the screen. And if you look at the profiler, all of these queries will appear under the table, the rows provider, which represents the main, the from of a UI controller. And we can see the from descending. This is the first query to go and get the first row to look for. Then we have the after row and after row descending. So this query, let's try to illustrate. Then this query is for this, and after row, which means this is for the after row, and after row descending, which means this is connected to that. Okay, so these are the source of these queries, and if you dive down, you see all the different SQL statements that were generated over here with the different conditions. You can see the one with all the greater, with equals and greater, etc. So whenever you see after row, from row, and after row descending, knows that you have a start on row expression that you might as well want to tune, and be mindful of having start on rows that are not needed, like this one, or order bys with too many members there because they will translate. One last sentence here, this will be problematic not on the normal day-to-day. The database is great and it will work great in most scenarios, but this will hurt you when you have a complex view. Okay, and you are starting to look at a complex view with the StartOnRowWhere, then a group by view with joins and everything, then this will get expensive. Hope you enjoyed this, and in the next video I'll show you some ways to get rid of these and make them conditional.